lot of you guys have probably seen this press station really close to it. So, provider of the system, some setups, overview, of how the signal travels from where we get it from the satellite all the way through to TVs. Going over the array of different buildings we have, since we have four different types of setups, which is always fun when you're troubleshooting. Setting up TVs, which you all can do. Some troubleshooting, some trouble tickets, and then for questions at the end. Our provider is Campus Televideo, who basically doesn't do much for us anymore since they put the system in. You guys handle a lot of the workload, and then some of the guys at NSS as well. Campus Televideo basically is the company that puts all the channels together. Who we get 100 channels of analog from DirecTV and 12 digital channels. There is talk of hopefully getting more digital channels, but it requires losing analog channels, and then requires students to have actual digital TVs, and we're still on the verge of who's gonna get the right of that. Dish Network is still around. They give us 15 international channels, which seldom work. A lot of that is because of Dish Network's international channels are very poorly handled, and Campus Televideo doesn't like Dish as much. We also have some on-campus channels, which are Woo TV, your guys' information channel, which John maintains some. Our special events channel, which has commencement. We had the debate on there, as well as a few other things. There's also another channel of Scola, which is a German-based channel held by the language department, and it seldom works as well. Our system is a 870 megahertz, which means nothing. Just means we have up to 135 channels available. Campus Televideo does allow premium services, which would be your HBO, the other channels like that. They do get those directly from the website, SIS website. And you guys really don't see that too much.
I have none this semester.
None? Have you had any?
I don't have one last semester.
Yeah. So really we could get those channels and add more to our base channel, but that's above us. The location of the heading equipment is in T. Elliott. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen it and touched it and broke things, but it's okay. Basic system. It comes via satellite, just like in most houses. We receive signal from satellite, goes down to the basement of T. Elliott, and then goes through an amp, and the center calls it over to the main head end, and then there it is sent out to a bunch of different receivers. I got pictures to explain this a little bit, so I'm going to go over it. Each channel is taken from the splitter to a receiver. At that point, it's just information. We don't have a channel set. Out of the receiver, it goes into a modulator. The modulator tells what channel we want it on our system to keep from ghosting and double up error channels. And then from there, we can also make the audio and video levels equal, so one channel is not really loud compared to the others. And then after that, it goes into a single coax. That coax is split to different receivers or transmitters via fiber to go throughout campus. There's 3 different fiber splitters on the South 40 that feed all the buildings, so that way it's a lot easier that way. Instead of having a bunch of transmitters, you have one transmitter that feeds 8 buildings or up to 8 buildings. This is actually the head end. It's pretty simple. I got close-ups here. Signal comes in, it goes to a gray box, or actually it goes to one of the splitters, and then the splitters feed all the gray boxes, which are labeled with what channel they are, what channel number Direct sees them as, and what channel number we have them as. If a channel ever goes out, you just go to that one channel, go to the guide, and it brings it back up. A lot of times, anything I hear, John, probably the one who's going to be taking care of it, or one of us. But it's good to know how it goes. So it goes out of the receiver into these little green lights, which will allow us to adjust the radio, the the frequency. So we put it on channels anywhere from 9 to 125. If you guys ever see anything below that, it means the TV is on air, not cable TV input. And we'll see that in a little bit.
That's important. Oh, okay, you know.
Yeah, I'll cover all that. Once they get a channel number, they go to one of those transmitters there, and those feed South 40, as well as the Danforth campus. The digital channels are separate from the gray boxes. They are the little black boxes, as well as some other ones that are lower down. They basically don't break, so we don't have to worry about those. If you look on the other side of the room, we also have another system here, which has a few other things, which is the DVD player, which we usually loop the commencement or the debate or something, or some special speech that Chancellor gives out. And through that, we have another channel modulator, which is the same as these little ones, but it'll put it on the special event channel, which is 20. We also have a magic box, which is what actually the SDS channel is. It's running off one of these as well, and then some other transmitters that feed throughout campus. Some basic cable TV talk. This is nerd stuff. It is transmitted in dB and V, which is decibel and millivolts. Most of the time we just say it's dB, but dB actually stands for the difference in millivolts per channel. When a cable TV signal is sent out from a transmitter to a receiver, the idea is always to have it on a slope. Therefore, the higher channels are always stronger than lower channels, so as it goes and attenuates, the higher channels will drop faster, so by the time it gets to TV, it's going to be pretty close to flat. Coming out of receiver, it's typically be a 3644 slope. That way, by the time you go through all your 800 splitters we have on campus, it'll hit hopefully flat enough that TVs will pick it up. Most TVs' analog range is from a +5 to +15 dB MV, and the digital is always 10 dB MV lower. So if you don't have a digital tester, you can always just, hopefully the analog just take about 10 off. It's going to be close enough, and that's usually -10 to +5. Building styles. This is where a lot of people have issues, especially on campus here. New buildings are real simple. Old buildings are not. The old buildings include Heisman, Hurd Myers, Rutledge, Shelman, Chanling, Lowbrooks, and Pratt Row. Anything that's going to be a daisy chain system is going to fall in one or two ways. And then the new buildings, which is basically everything else, is all home runs. It's real simple to work on. The old buildings, there are two different styles of those as well. Everything is received from fiber, and it goes to a series of 8-way splitters. Some of the rooms, well, I guess this says from the splitters, they fill out to the gray box in each room, and then the gray boxes have taps, and they fill rooms as they go. Let's see here. Okay. The square buildings, like Heisman, Hurd, Myers, Rutledge, Chanling, all the common rooms are connected. So every 341, 241, 441, straight up are always connected. They're not connected to actual student rooms. The other buildings, and then once you go from another series that feeds the rooms in that suite. So if there's an issue in the common room, it may not be in the bedrooms because they are not connected. The other buildings are all connected since there are no common rooms. It's just a series of daisy chains that go back to a one splitter per floor, which is usually in the maintenance closet or the laundry department. This is common, which you'll see. The head end, or the common room, which has a series of splitters which are labeled. Hopefully they're labeled correctly and not broken. As you can tell, it's ugly. And this is what's referred to as a gray box, which has been painted a lot of times, which are very rarely gray anymore. But to get into those is a T8 bed, and they also house the data and the phone for that room as well. The new buildings, which are basically everything else I didn't list, have fiber receivers as well. Cable TV run is from a faceplate in the room, which is common to these down here, all the way back to the comm closet and it's one line, goes to a splitter, and that's basically it. You don't have to worry about finding a break in the daisy chain if there's an issue. Here's an example. Mud and Park, they are a beast of their own. A couple of summers ago, they decided to renovate parts of the buildings, and in doing that, they kind of cut signals here and there, ran their own lines. Some rooms are live, some are not. There could be an old box, there could be a new box. Really, it's kind of hard to figure out. You just got to do it most yourself. A lot of the system, since it's been in place for about 3 years now, I don't think there's a lot more issues of which signals are live, but you guys will know more than I do. Pretty simple. Setting up TVs, I'll go over this just for future classes, but most of you guys know how to do this. Basically set up to the wall, TV to the wall, make sure the input is on cable TV or air, depending on a lot of the new TVs require to be on air to pick up digital, and they might have 2 separate inputs, and we do not cover both of those, so the student has to decide if they want digital or analog, and they can move them back and forth or get their own splitter. Once the input is on standard, not IRC or HRC, do a full scan, make sure the channels are from 9 to 125 and not 2 to 11. HE channels may need to be scanned differently over the air. Even if you do scan it over the air, it may put it on the same list as analog. Some of them do not, and some of them will put your digital channels in weird numbers. So being 2.1, it might be a 128 or something really odd, but they're usually there. Okay, troubleshooting. Most common issues which are in the old dorms. Like I said, the new dorms really are pretty simple. The TV is not getting a signal. You can test with an RF meter, which you guys still have a Sudoku?
I think so.
Still working. I believe one of them is broken.
One was broke. Okay, so you have something to test, a basic idea. You want to make sure that it has some kind of signal getting to it. If not, it's either going to be a break in the line, and you can go back to the previous rooms in the series to figure out where it's broke at. If the picture is fuzzy, it usually indicates a weak signal. In those gray boxes are taps. Those taps take out a certain amount of dB. Most of the dBs they take out are 20. We do have the option for 4 or 8. You can replace those and help it signal. Yeah.
Now, where would we get these taps? Because the only extra taps, attenuators, and stuff we have the same exact ones have been here since I started here. We have never gotten more of them. So, I don't know how we're supposed to get extra parts to
Probably just make a list and send it to the NOC or somebody. Just say, whoever orders your parts.
So we can just ask for a little bag of
that
4 dB.
You could probably order
8 dB ones or order.
Yeah, they're fairly inexpensive.
So that's like what one thing we could try if it looks like the signal level's weak. And
if it's weak, you can always replace that tap to a lesser dB tap, so that more signal will get through.
Okay.
The other option is always to put a amp in the room or in line, which is a hairy situation because they'll throw something's way too strong to get to the end and make it weaker.
There's the tap on the inside of the cable jack in the room.
Yeah, it's in that gray box, that tap. I meant to bring some, but it's basically an in and out and the tap on the bottom. The picture has lines, usually means there's could be interference, which we have seen, especially with construction going on in the old buildings. Usually means the line is too strong. So you can either, if there's an amp in line, which is possible, fix it. You can lower the dB on it so it's not blasting the first dB in line. Usually somebody probably turned it way up so the last dB gets something. It's just kind of trying to make somebody happy at the time. Or you can always put an attenuator FET on it. If you guys need more, just let us know. I'm sure they've got plenty. If you're not receiving any channels at all, it's either a break in the line or probably TV could be an issue. Sometimes channels are missing or a series of channels are missing. that usually indicates a broken tap or splitter along the line. So you just have to basically replace from that student back to wherever the issue starts to figure out which tap it was. I had to do that at Rubelman a couple years ago, and it was not fun. If there's no audio or video, basically means probably student TV. Any of these can be used. The best way to test these is with the TV. If you don't have a Sudoku or an RF meter, basically you guys can tell if it's too strong or too light. Another thing is, it's always nice to have a spare TV that you know that works, that you can keep around. Or if the neighbor's is working, try that jack, or vice versa. Make sure it's not a TV issue, because a lot of times it actually is. Causes for signal weakness and loss is cable attenuation, splitter losses, through-line insertion loss, which is interference, tap loss, and signals there, it's just not strong enough for the TV to see it. A lot of the newer TVs require a little stronger signal, so if it's there in too weak, you're not going to see it. Big issue we've seen for a while is the game systems. People want you to help hook up their TiVo or something else. We don't. We're not supposed to do that. A lot of us do. I mean, it's not bad, but we just can't support it when it doesn't work. As long as the TV works straight from the wall, that's basically all we can promise them. Trouble tickets. You guys know all these. The more information on them is always better. Student name, the room, building number. I know they've all eyes out now. Which channels are knocked out or bad. All of them, any of them. Any lines, picture, video, or fuzziness. If it's audio video problems. If there's any kind of interference, like a refrigerator or a microwave. Game systems. When did the problem begin, to see if there's an actual cause. If only that student has it, if it's a building issue, or if it's more, and what work you guys have done to help work on the issue. If we get a trouble ticket and you guys have worked on it and we see that you didn't put anything in there, we'll probably send it back saying, because we don't know if you've done anything, to say, hey, fill out what you've done or go do something about it. And that's about it. Yes.
Just one real quick one about the trouble tickets, just
Sure.
to verify. If we've taken a look at it and it seems like it's a problem outside, something that one of these guys can handle, it's level 3 telecom techs is the queue it's supposed to go to.
Right.
Is that, okay.
Yeah.
So just so everybody knows, in Altieri's when you're assigning this ticket, or if you've been working on it and you put in what you've done and can't fix it, the queue it goes to is L3 telecom techs.
Yes.
I saw a situation once where the TV had some channels that were very obviously fuzzy and too weak, some channels that were fine, and then some channels with horizontal lines. Is it possible that someone has adjusted that slope thing to be too far,
Yeah.
too high?
Yeah.
And is there a way we can adjust it if they have?
Is it on a new building or old building?
This was in an old building.
Probably not. Unless it's...
Is there, I mean, how is the slope set in the old building? Or is it just something you don't want us touching?
No, the slope doesn't... You guys can affect it if you need to. The whole thing about the old buildings is that if they're in the middle of the series, you have to check the people at the front and the end. Because the guy in the front might be getting blasted just to get enough signal to the guy at the end. So, I don't know where that falls on your issue. Yeah, it's pretty bad. It was very poorly designed. It's hard to please everybody. It's the whole thing. So I don't know if you want to please the guy who's complaining when somebody else might complain because of what you changed.
I mean, if you're blasting the guy at the front to get signal to the back, can't you put like, an attenuator after the tap and then weaken his signal and then balance? But if you had the time to go through each room and balance it all.
Yeah, you got to go through every room and balance it. That's the thing. And also remember, you might have channels like 9, 10, and 11. That's a bad example. Like channels that are next to each other may not actually be next to each other because of the way we make our system.
Oh, so the channel number doesn't sort of directly
correspond
to
the
the frequency?
It's not channel 9 to 125 in the frequency range. So it could be anywhere in there according to however we set up our channel.
I see.
It's typically, it's close to that, but you could have oddballs in there.
Okay.
Do you have a question?
Just a simple one. Like, if the TV is too old to receive all the channels, would it be interference between the channels? Like you have more than 100 channels, but if my TV is too old, I can only receive like 100 channels. Would there be interference between the channels?
Shouldn't be.
Shouldn't be.
You'll just lose the top 25 channels.
Oh.
Are you having interference?
Yeah, kind of like near the, like around the 100 one, they have like from the screen I could see something from other channels, like, but it's.
So it's a ghosting issue?
Yeah.
That can be, where are you at?
I'm in Myers.
In Myers? Some of the issues we've had down there is actually, since the digital TVs have come online, digital stations, they don't broadcast on 2, 4, or 5. They're actually broadcasting on higher frequencies, and we do see a lot of ghosting. Not a lot, but enough ghosting down there that it's possible. Can you tell what channel you're picking up?
I can't right now because like my roommate kind of broke the TV
Oh.
2 days ago.
So it could very well just be something you're pulling out of the air.
Like around the end, it has some overlapping of the video.
Yeah, it could be your TV too.
Okay.
Have you tried a different TV there? See their neighbors for a little bit?
Well, other TVs are so advanced that they don't have this type of problem.
Okay. Anything else?
Oh, yeah. So is there a screw that adjusts the slope in the old building somewhere? I mean, I doubt I'll ever actually want to adjust the slope because I'll screw with everybody, but if I had the patience to do it and the time, and I wanted to.
Okay. Probably not,
Okay.
because unless there's an inline amp, you're going to affect the entire building. You can change the slope coming out of the fiber receiver through internal pads on it.
Okay, but there's a control on an amp if there happened to be one in that line?
Yeah. There's little slopes as gain and slope.
Okay.
So the only other thing to change it would be putting a different tap on it
Yeah.
at that specific box to increase or decrease the
Yeah.
dB.
Oh, and are attenuators linear, like additive? Like if I put a 4 and an 8, would it equal 12?
Yes.
Good question.
I don't know, like, you know.
No, it is, because I was originally told that
I was genuinely saying.
I was originally told that 4 means you're, no matter what, it's supposed to be a 4, but they do add up. So,
Mike, this might not be a question you have an answer to, but is there, as far as before we send a ticket to you guys, is there a certain amount of investigation that you want us to hopefully do before a ticket comes to NSS for someone with more experience to go diving deeper?
all we can really ask is that you guys go out and make sure that you put a Sudoku on it. You know, witness the issue.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if they're having a ghosting issue, if they're having a snow picture or lines, and just try to either put a tap on it if it's too strong, and change the tap if you can.
Auto scan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make sure it's set up right.
Fix the ones that are actually just
Right.
not setting up the TV right.
Right. Besides that, if you guys can't fix it, then yeah, send it up.
Do you guys have, like we have a tool for testing if like an Ethernet line is getting all the way through, but we don't have something similar for a coax cable. Do you know of such a thing?
Yeah, you can make a toner. There's toners for that.
Okay. Can we get one
So,
of those?
an issue with that on the old buildings
Mhm.
is
Oh, well, okay, well, yeah, how
Okay.
bad is that going through tabs?
you're not going to go very far through the other tabs.
Right, but if I could go, like, I just want to test, like, I'd get the in on one tap and the out on the next tap and test if just that wire is broken.
Right, you can do that, yeah.
Tap to
Okay.
tap.
Yeah, you can go room to room and check that way, or from beginning the series to the closet or
I
something.
thought some of our existing
They have something that
Coax had
screws on, but it
coax.
doesn't go through.
doesn't
Tried
actually
it.
send a sound through.
No,
You
it
have
doesn't.
to get a stronger one that usually, like the one we have, actually clamps on that that middle's.
Yeah, Paul Pollard showed it
Yeah.
to me one year. It's got like an alligator clip or
Mhm.
something that goes onto it.
It blasts really loud.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because ours are just too weak to get through. I've tested one in Park's new system, which I think is just one continuous wire
Right.
that doesn't get through to the basement.
That's
Well, we thought it did, and then we kept testing people's cable problems. It was like, oh, the line's broken. Like, and we got it like 4 times in a row, and it would never get through. And
No,
that was
it goes up and down. It's not room to room.
no. The part of Park has
You know, just the home run system.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That's what I was. Yeah, the stuff room to room is a complete maze.
Right.
So I just don't bother with
So yeah, they're fun.
that. Oh, is there no consistent direction in Park and Mud?
They go floor above and below.
So it like
So it comes
the
out of the
equivalent
town
room-
closet. It goes like if it comes out of that closet there, it comes over here. There's a splitter here that goes straight up.
Okay, so
and
each
feeds the
common
four
room is
floors.
straight up. Each room equivalent room in the suite is straight up.
Every room is straight up.
Okay.
Yeah. It also
Who made
has
that
the
decision?
yeah the funnest of the parking lot.
So is basically the entire cable feed originates in T. Elliott for the
Yes.
whole campus? What are the other like distribution points from it around the rest of campus?
Like the 8-way splitters.
Yeah, or like where other places where fiber is fed off to split it some more and send out.
It comes out of T. Elliott. And there's a splitter in T. Elliott for the local. There's one in Danforth and Keenan on the South 40. There's 2 of them in North Brookings. There's 2 in Umrath, Carl Umrath Hall. There's one in Jolly, one in Old Mac, 2 of them in Millbrook 1, and I think there's one more.
Where are the dishes?
All 4 dishes are on top of the T-LED, as well as an antenna, which pick up our digital channels, our local digital channels. Anything else?
Do you have time to look in the newly cleaned out ResTech closet to see if there's any equipment in there that might be what you're talking about?
Sure.
There's a lot of stuff back there that I have no idea.
I know we don't have any tabs at all.
Okay.
You get some.
Be on the lookout for cable locks. They're still around.
Are they really?
Yeah. I found some this year.
Did you really?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Millbrook.
Yeah, I thought they did away with those like it was like 4 years ago.
It's three classes, I think. Now.
Are we supposed to provide the kind of like a cable connector for the old buildings? Like since if you just buy a cable, you can't go directly to the box. You need some kind of connector between.
There's
No,
no.
that means that box is missing that connector.
Yeah.
That connector should be.
It should be there.
Oh,
The
female
whole building
needs
was
to.
like that.
Female connect.
But
Yeah,
the
we
whole
do
building
have
was
some.
like that.
The whole building's not there?
Yeah, at least my suite.
What?
I've heard a lot of people come in asking for like female connectors. I just give it to them.
I think
That's
it's
fine.
partly
Yeah, we're
partly because the
Okay.
a lot of the buildings that they do have the female connector, but it's mounted in that little clip thing, and people pull on their cable, and the little clip thing comes right out, and the whole thing
Yeah.
comes right out, and they just tear it.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Or back in the days when
Yeah.
people stole it.
Yeah.
And
That
broke
was
the
always fun.
boxes.
Anything else? Thank you very much, Mike.